You've made up your mind, you want to start this hobby, congratulations. But watch this video till the end to know what you should do before you start. Let's get straight to it. Point number one, you should know what fish to buy. It's an important thing that a lot of us miss out on, especially when we start. Do your research, find out which fish you want to enjoy. If you know what fish to buy, you will also know how big an aquarium you need, and also what other tank mates should you have. So you have to do your research to know, once you have identified what fish you want, find out which other fish can go with that fish. Because more often than not, this is one reason why a lot of fish die in this hobby. And I'm making this video just to make sure that at least 1, 2 or 5 or 10, I don't know how many of you will actually do this research and then work on it, right? So please find out what fish you want and then decide how big a tank you need. If you do not do that, you're actually setting up for failure, right? So know your fish. Point number 2, nitrogen cycle. It's a monster. It's very simple in terms of how it works and what should we do in order to control and take charge of the nitrogen cycle. But more often than not, again, a lot of us, especially when we start, we either don't listen to what the fish keeper or the person who's selling you those fish is telling you, or the videos that you watch. You probably think it's okay, my water should be fine, it's crystal clear, I can see through, then what should be the problem? But then it's not the visible correctness of the water. Yes, that's important. The most important thing is the intrinsic quality of the water that you put inside your aquarium. There are a lot of controlling parameters like your pH, your GH, of course the temperature of the water, ammonia, nitrites, nitrates, all of that. So if you have a fair understanding of the nitrogen cycle, it really aids you in making the right decisions when it comes to starting the fish keeping hobby. The third point is an inevitable mistake that everybody will fall prey to. I have done that. I have seen a lot of others do that, and I have watched a lot of experienced fish keepers actually, call it out in their own videos, saying that they had also made the same mistake. And that is MTS, multi-tank syndrome. 18th of March, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he asked me, how did I start? And this is all I had to tell him. 17th of March 2020 is when I started working from home because of the pandemic, right? 18th of March, I was just strolling outside my house, and my eyes caught the attention of an aquarium shop, which was not so conspicuous from the main road, but I grabbed a look and I said, okay, let me walk in and see how it goes. By 21st or 22nd of March, I had 5 aquariums in my house, and in the course of another month or month and a half, I had a whopping 23 or I think 24 aquariums in my house. A small house that I have, but I had 24 of them. It took me some time to realize that yes, there is something called MTS, and it has happened to me, and it's time to recover from that. And that's when I started coming down, doing the right mixes, seeing who can go with whom, doing the research. It happens to everybody. Make sure it doesn't happen to you. You will get tempted to buy everything that you see. You will get tempted to pick up every fish that you like, because you will like every fish. Because all of them have their unique personalities and colors and behavior, right? And we will be attracted to all of that, especially kids, right? So start with one, right? Once you get a hang of it, you will be able to decide whether you want to upgrade to a bigger tank, or you want another tank with another fish or another community altogether. That's again up to you, but then start with one and get a hang of it, understand maintenance, understand nitrogen cycle, understand behavior, aggression, water quality, and then you can probably move on to the next one or an upgrade. The next point is the most critical point that we have to be mindful of, and that is filtration. There are 3 types of filtration, mechanical, biological, and chemical. Just see if you can read through, do your research. I will make my videos on all of these topics individually, very shortly from now. But yes, there's no harm in doing a lot of research, and it's important to understand, basis the size of your aquarium that you've decided. What filtration should you go with? Do you want a sponge filter, which is basic, which is cost effective, a little loud, a little noisy? If you're okay with that slight buzz or hum throughout the day, throughout the night, but as I did, I had, as I said, I had 24 aquariums, and I had at least 17 air pumps running in my room. You can only imagine the sound. But anyways, you could either go with sponge filters, you could go with hang-on back filters, or canister filters. Again, as a beginner, I would suggest you to start with a sponge filter, understand how that works, look at the performance, and then you will do your own research to see what more you could do, and you will eventually end up with a hang on a back or a canister someday. But to start with, a sponge filter is absolutely perfect, right? It does the job. It does the job. The other aspect of filtration is maintenance. Maintenance means essentially water change. I know a lot of people who just write off a water change every other day or every other week, saying, okay, we'll do it, I'll do it next week. But then that is something that you need to be on top of, right? Because you're getting into this hobby with a conscious decision. You want to do it, you want to see those fish be happy, healthy, and live long. You have to be on top of your maintenance. If you cut slack there, a lot of problems will arise, which will lead, again, that has a domino effect on a lot of things. So you don't want that. You don't want that. You really want to make sure that your aquarium is safe. It is just right for your fish to thrive in and be happy, right? That's more important. Be happy. You want your fish not just to live, but to live happily, right? So choose the right filtration. Very important. The last point for today's session, today's video, feeding. Hungry fish is equal to healthy fish. I heard that somewhere in one of the videos long time back. And I also, when I did my research, and of course from experience as well, just like because of poor water quality, a lot of fish die. A lot of fish die because of overfeeding. You heard me right. It's not underfeeding, but overfeeding, right? Fish don't realize that their stomach is full. They are cute little babies who don't know when their tummy is full. They will keep eating until you stop. And if by then it's too late, they will have issues. They will have bloating issues. They might have swim bladder disease. They might die, right? So you don't want to do that. Understand how big your fish is, understand what pellets are you feeding, or flake food or live food, which I don't recommend, but again, that's an individual choice. But depending on what you're feeding and how big your fish is and how active the fish is, take the right decision and feed them as much as they need and not as much as they want. So remember guys, do not overfeed. that is the biggest crime that one can commit in this hobby. So that was it, guys, for this video. I hope you've liked it. I hope you've learned something from it. I'll be more than happy to know that I have made a difference in somebody's life. And stay safe, stay indoors, and subscribe to Sikh Nation.